My name is Floris, and I call myself a Drupal entrepreneur, which means for me that I use a certain part of my time, 30%, in making products, and 70% working for satisfying my client as a consultant. And I'm a community enthusiast.
Great. I guess you already know me because I'm doing a lot of noise around. I'm Ruben Teijeiro. I come from Spain. I'm living in Sweden. I'm working for Teijeiro, that is one of the biggest solution integrator in the Nordic region. And my job role is being a Drupal hero.
Yes.
Yes.
We're going to talk today about a certain technology, which is called a CMIS. And it's a content management interoperability service. It's an open standard that exists for a long time, 6 years. And it has an abstraction layer, so systems can exchange data in a structured way. It's been adopted by big companies, also, for example, Fresco, IBM, Microsoft SharePoint, Nuexo, and even SAP. So that means that having this technology into Drupal makes our websites able to have proper documents. Since Drupal is not the perfect tool to handle files. No. There is a thing with versioning of the same file. You can't reuse the same image in the editor. Why?
No yet.
And then the documents get to be multilingual and they have a workflow, what's translated, what's not. With this, I'm personally a fan of Fresco, which is such a document management system. And it has an open source community edition, as well as the needed corporate support. Internally, it has a little tool which is called Activity. And with that, you can make a business process model notation schema of how your workflow is operational. Mm-hmm. And you can customize that for the client and even sell it to them as their intellectual property. So there's a lot of business value in there.
So how this started? Because at least in my company we have a project that needs the CMIS module for a new solution. We decided to go for Drupal 8. So this story starts with a real need. So we went through the path of the journey of contributing to a new module. So in this case, as you know, we launched Drupal 8 and not all the country modules were ready. So switch to the next one. So when we went to the CMIS module, we expected to find that there is not a Drupal 8 version. I guess some of you will find yourself in the same situation, or you already been there. In this case, what we did is first step when you find that there is not a module available for Drupal version that you need is to try to find an issue if there is any idea of any work ongoing for porting the module to Drupal 8. We tried to find it. There was not plan, no issue, no nothing. So next step, contact the module maintainer and try to figure it out if the maintainer has any plans to do the port. In this case, I contacted the maintainer and he told me that he was not actively working in the module. He suggested to contact Ian Norton, that is working for Fresco. So I contacted Ian, he replied to me and he says, no, I'm not gonna work on that. I give you full access to the module repository. And I got access to the repository. What means that I can create new branches, new releases, I can give access to maintainers and start the collaboration in a good way. We could start the work in GitHub like others did, but I prefer to stick with Drupal.org because it's more centralized and we can follow the Drupal workflows. Okay? So next step is to notify the rest of the community what you are going to do. Because what happens is that if you don't say that you are doing something, no one is aware, and probably someone else in the other side of the planet is doing the same. And it's ridiculous, okay? So we created the issue where we explain our plan of starting. So we have a project, we have some budget, and we are starting to do the port, okay? So afterwards, go a little bit back. Sorry. Afterwards, people started to comment and to just be interested in this module to be ported. So there was not only my need or my company's need for this, but there were all other companies interested. And as usual, people go and say, hey, are we there yet? Is it ready? What is the status? Okay, people start to pop up, and I said, okay, are you interested as well? Why we don't join efforts? Why we don't collaborate? So even the Ministry of Justice contacted Ian Norton for the same need, because they have a ongoing project in Drupal 8, and they needed the same integration with Fresco. So Ian referenced them to me, like Ruben is working on that, and then they contacted me, and then I said, yeah, we're working on that. Why we don't collaborate? So the experience started to be a little bit better, because you are not alone, you're not working alone, so you have collaboration from others. And then Drupalathon happens.
Yay!
This is for me, it's like my summer vacation, okay? So it's in Hungary, in the Balaton Lake. It's a small but really beautiful conference, because we have a model of workshops where we are more, hands-on workshops and not presentations. And it's pretty healthy community, really good weather, good food, okay? And then we met Brainsang, that is a company from Budapest. And I met Floris again. We already met 4 years ago in Copenhagen. Yeah. And then I met him again there, and we've been, having a beer as usual, conversating about, what are you doing? I'm doing this thingy within Fresco integration. And Floris,
wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
We're also working on a little bit like that.
Exactly. And we say, seriously, are you working on that? Yes. What you're working, why you didn't tell me? I didn't know that. I say, but it's there in the user queue. Okay, then probably we have a communication problem. We have to improve that, but still. Then we decided to go together and Brainsang. They are really, really good professionals, and they started to put a lot of effort in the module. They put a lot of love there. So we have a patch. We have something that was working, that you can download, you can test. And yes, at least all the expectations were fulfilled, and people can start to use their module. It works in Drupal 8, it's not complete, but we have an entity. You can create your own content entities, so where you can just link a Drupal entity with an Fresco document, and you can either browse them. So the current status of the module, if you are interested, is it needs more love, of course, but it really works right now. You can just add your own Fresco instance, connect to the repository, get a list of the folders and the documents. That's okay. You can create them, you can remove this kind of things. Then we have a problem with the Apache chemistry library. That is the PHP library that uses the Alfresco, the CMIS API. But that library is like kind of obsolete. I guess it was not updated since 2013 and is not following good practices. It uses SOAP, not REST, so no REST support. So it's a little bit kind of, so, and yeah, it needs some UX improvements, and it also is, and we also consider that it should fulfill other use cases. We will move on. You want more information, you have the link to the issue in the bottom. Okay.
And the slides will be online, of course. We add them to the program.
Exactly. Note. So here you have a comparison between the Apache chemistry and the library that we plan to use, that is in GitHub. It has text coverage. It is like a full port of the CMIS module from Java. So it uses like a Symfony. So it uses Composer. So it's nice. It uses Gazelle, but we have a problem with Gazelle. Okay, but it's something that
another great place where you could contribute, helping with the Gazelle.
Yes, it's a good idea. Yes. So you have the links as well there. So how you can help, you're interested in helping, just go to the issue, have a look at more or less what is needed. You can contact me, you can contact Floris. Okay.
So we have some more improvement opportunities. One of the downsides of Fresco software is that its user experience isn't the best of the world. So it would be really lovely to have a block on your website that is connected to a point or an endpoint in the file structure of your documents. So you can show everything in this block that belongs with the content. And underneath you can easily make a small drop box. So if you add a file to that one, it will be uploaded as a new draft within the topic that the page is talking about. And of course, it would be lovely to have more decoupledness in it, so we can use fancy front ends like React or Angular. And of course, keep on adapting on use cases. And I guess that the most issues after we have a full release of CMIS will be implementations on use cases, because that's where the most value is delivered. But it's also a thing that most contributors don't add up. They just add a patch where the software was broken, but a showcase like we use it here and it worked like that, it could help a lot of others as well.
Yeah, but the idea is we are developers, so I guess we also need ideas from other people that they are not developers. For example, Martin, that is sitting there, is his first time in a Drupal conference. He is responsible of the Fresco platforms in my company, so he would love to have, and he will have really good ideas to provide. So it's good.
So there we got the first working part of it, and I was very inspired by this top picture because we had nice links and we had a nice Drupal 8 standard table, and then thought, if we just keep all the stuff that we have and we add some different kinds of ways to show the document lists and views, have a way to like the stuff because people like to like. And of course you need to upload new. And this one, you should be able to switch it between a bulleted list or a folder like all the people with Internet Explorer love. Those kind of things would help in adaptation and acceptance of the end user, since they are, in the end, the client. Another thing which was in there is a nice SQL-like query language, which is called CMIS query. And that one also works in the current Drupal 8 module. However, its usability looks like...
No, it's for nerds.
Just like when you start with Legos and you open the box and you throw everything on the floor. It looks like that. So we could have a nice drag and drop filter thing where you could store your queries and then you reuse them as buttons, or adapt, or maybe both, GraphQL. Since Fubi presented this at, first time it was at Drupalathon, where it was actually working in a workshop.
Yes.
And it's a graphical way for querying REST. So it can replace all this, oh, what field did you use? Oh, then I need to query that, etc., etc. That kind of complexity is covered with GraphQL, because you just ask me, give me your schema. And then it tells everything which it's supposed to be interacting with, and you can dynamically use the queries without the completion. So it's really great. I'd like to have that as well. And now we're going to do 2 use cases.
Yeah, those are real use cases that we want to implement in our case, because there is a business interest in my company to just have it ready. In this case, is a media management platform. So it is, as we said, Drupal is not good managing files, and your media assets are files. Let's say images, videos, or sound clips, or And on the other hand, it's a better document management system. Yes, Alfresco is a document management system, but the UX is not the best one. And the improvements in the platform, they can be expensive or they can be difficult, and Drupal can offer better experiences. In this case, this is a real prototype. Probably you will have seen this in Dries' keynote in DrupalCon Dublin. This is more or less, you have the link, this is like an interactive demonstration of what is going to be the future of...
You want to show it?
Yes, click the link. We can show it. This is more or less the future, how we see the future of the media in Drupal. So all the work here is going to be done in core. You can close the browser here. Yes, and it's much better. So this is more or less, if you want to reuse media assets, for example. So those are files that are already integrated. So in the system, they come from Alfresco, they're fetched from Alfresco, and then you can click on them, and then you can just import or insert. Okay? Yeah. Sorry, but the resolution is not the best one. So
we switch back.
Yes. But still, it's an interactive demonstration. So, and this is a work in process, work in progress. And Janes, he did the keynote before. He's responsible of the media initiative, and he's interested in just going forward with this. And as I said, the files are going to be managed, stored in Alfresco, and the CMIS connector are going to allow the media in core to fetch them. That's the plan. So we will have a proper document management handling. And a document management system, in this case, Drupal is going to act as the front end, because as I said, Alfresco UX is complex, it's not the best one. And also, Drupal, we have expertise in Drupal. We can do really easy customizations, integrations with other systems. So this will open a really wide range of business cases, at least for SharePoint, that uses as well CMIS or Alfresco or IBM software. So it's a standard. So that doesn't mean that the integration with Alfresco is going to stay there. So it opens integration with other systems that uses as well CMIS. Go back. Yes. Yes, I guess I went through that.
Okay.
Yes.
As a recap, what we've seen is that from all the points that are here on this slide, there is only one which is actually technical implementation. All the others are about talking with people, having communication, letting people know what you're doing, collaborating, asking questions, etc., etc. So there's a process of request access to the repository, have community exposure, that you're going to port the project, gather the talent, find the people, then the do stuff is done, okay. Keep on continuously integrating, feeding it, new use cases, optimizing, bettering it. And always involve communities. Not only our community, but also people from the Alfresco community, etc., etc.
In this case, we are a Drupal community interested in this to happen. Alfresco is really interested in this to happen. And then we have, other communities around that they will benefit as well from this. And not communities, even corporations, that they are enterprises, that they will benefit from this. But still, I mean, I think that this is something that it should be done. And as you said, always communicate. So if you don't say that you are doing that work, no one is going to be aware, and probably someone else is going to be working on the same stuff. And it's better to join efforts. It's better, faster and cheaper.
Then we have a piece which is also very important, that is aftercare. It's very important for our projects, but also for modules. So keep on educating your providers that bring you the stuff that has to happen, the software, the customers, of course, because they eventually have to use it, and all of your team.
Yeah. So open source, I guess open source is, as Janis explained during the keynote, that was a pretty good explanation. Is open source is a habit. So I mean, this should be something that you do because you know that, because you do it by nature. So in this case, is to convince, or I prefer to say educate your customers, for example, that you are working in open source, so everything is going to be open source, not something that is sensible material, but you are going to open source the solution, or the most generic solution. They will be a benefit because they will get security patches or bugs or even improvements for free, let's say for free, because other people will do it. So that is beneficial for your customers in so many ways. Then your providers as well, because for example, in this case, when we started the collaboration with BrainSang, I told them that I wanted to do this integration completely open source. So the first task in our Scrum board was go to the module and port the module, you know, and put it in Drupal.org, because then we will do it faster, we will do it even better. So educate your provider. So when you collaborate with another company and you're going to build something, be sure that we are going to build something and open source it. And also your team participate in initiatives, open source initiatives, I guess benefits your team. They will get more skill, they will get even more contacts when they have a problem, they need to solve it, then they know who to contact. In this case, go to conference, be part of this kind of conference is good as well. Because then you meet people that they know something that you don't know, and when you have a problem on that specific matter, then you know what is the person that you have to contact. But as I say, this is education. It's still, even I'm struggling in my company to educate my colleagues, all my managers, to say, okay, we need to be more involved in this. If you consider this is a business case for the company, then we need to be involved in the community, because then we will do this better, quicker, faster, cheaper. That is the important thing to the companies. So this is the link to the module. You can go there, you can download, you can test it, then you can come back with feedback, good feedback, bad feedback. Okay? We plan to do a demo, but it didn't work. We have some problems, but more or less.
Like time problems?
Yeah, exactly. We have some time problems. Yes, but you can still test it really easy.
And one of the sponsors at this event is Bitnami, and they provide an out-of-the-box virtual box of Fresco box. So you can just hook that up to your Drupal 8, where you clone the module and do the demo yourselves at home. It's easy. Even
Docker containers as well.
Yes.
So you can download it. You install Fresco in your computer and you can test the connector. So it's up to you. I guess we have time. We try to keep this, as I said, quick, and so we don't want it to bore you, because it was a long camp. And we prefer this to be a two-way conversation, not only that we speak and then you listen and then you leave. So we would really want to have a lot of questions, so we left some time for your questions. So now it's your time. You've been listening. Yes?
One second.
Yeah, I think I can be loud enough.
Wait for the mic.
No, it's for the recording, so please.
Yes. If not, it's not going to be on tape.
Yeah, I got late, so I might have missed a good explanation for that, and I don't know Alfresco any further than the name, really. So it kind of hangs me wondering, since it seems that you're doing actually a lot of hard work to integrate it properly and like manage it, to deal with media in Drupal. I guess there are obvious use cases where Alfresco is necessary for like whatever client reason, but wouldn't it make more sense to just sort out the file management in Drupal, or like the media management in Drupal?
No, we are not going to replace it. I guess I didn't explain it correctly, but what we are planning is to handle the media assets, at least in my case, in my company. We are going to handle the media assets and fetching them from Alfresco. We are going to handle them in Drupal, but we are going to fetch them from Alfresco, because we have.
Why not skip it?
Because there is more. We have more cases where we want to Alfresco to store all the files. So this is something specific for our needs. But the idea is the idea is to store documents, files in Alfresco and retrieve them from Drupal. That's our plan. You want to make Drupal better with files? That's another approach. But in our case, it's quicker and better to do the integration with Alfresco because this will open business cases. Because as I said, I work for a solutions integrator, so we work in integration. Yeah. We don't work in products.
And also, you collaborated with the media initiative itself.
Yes,
for the browser.
Yeah.
So
the idea is we are working in both. We are working in CMIS and we are working in the media initiative. So actually, we work with Janet together to make media better, make Drupal better as well.
Another question? Somewhere?
No more questions? You're tired. You want to go and grab some food? Beer and go to the second official party. Okay? Then I can do some promo.
Yeah.
When is the party? What time? It's not officially organized yet, but it's gonna be okay. Okay, stay tuned in Twitter. We will tweet some locations and time. Okay, and hope to see you there and continue the conversation. Okay? Thank you very much.